Avery here with the Skips Tactical Solutions podcast. This week's guest is a youth competitive shooter. Her name is Nami, and we will be talking to her about all things competitive shooting and just talking about the youth sport of shooting. Nami, thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So, I'm so excited that you were willing to join us. I am all about talking to children and just involving children in the Second Amendment community. So I was so excited when I ran across your page.
Me too. I was excited when you asked me on. I was like, yeah.
So yeah, I'm really appreciative that you were able to come on, and I really appreciate your parents for letting you come on as well. So can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
My name is Nami. I'm a youth competitive shooter, and I'm 11 years old, and this will be my second season of competitive shooting.
Great. So we're going to just go ahead and hop right on into it. Can you tell them what got you into competitive shooting?
Well, originally I had a BB gun, but when I was 5, I believe it was Christmas, and my dad came home with a small Ruger 1022, which is actually my limited gun now, but it's only this receiver because I've replaced everything else.
Yeah.
But I'd go out to my property in West and East Texas, and I'd plink cans and little pieces of fruit. And one day we were in Cabela's, and we just ran across Jerry and Lena Mitchellek, and they were signing and taking pictures with people. And I had no idea who they were originally, but my dad was like, go take a picture with them, they're amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. So I got an autograph and pictures with both of them, and I looked them up in the car, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And obviously I had to choose a sport because my parents didn't want me to be a shut-in and just like sitting in my room. So I asked if I could do competitive shooting. They were like, yeah, that would be awesome.
That's great. So how does it feel to be a child in the competitive shooting scene?
It's great because you get to get a lot of knowledge from adults and people that have shot longer, and they can explain what you're doing wrong and what you're doing correctly, what I need to work on, and you can meet other youth and you can meet other adults. It's a lot of fun.
So that's really good that you're actually listening and taking all the knowledge that you can from the people who have been in competitive shooting longer than you. That's great. So when it comes to competitive shooting, I'm pretty sure that you go to the range a lot. How often do you think that you go to the range and practice?
I try to go 4 to 6 times a week and shoot at least 400 to 500 rounds because obviously I want to get better.
Yeah. And how often do you have matches?
It depends. At local matches, my range, ETTS, does a match every other month, and that's really fun. But once the actual season starts, I shoot at least 1 or 2 matches a month that are, I believe, tier 2.
So can you let the audience know where you're located?
I'm in Texas.
Okay. So when it comes to guns, competitive shooting, how do other kids treat you when they find out what you do?
Different kids have different reactions. When I told my friends, they didn't really care because they had different stuff to do.
Yeah.
But when I told other people, they were like, what? And they thought I was doing something else. I always said I did volleyball because I used to think that everyone would have a panic attack and freak out and be scared of me. But when I told them, no one really had a reaction. They were just like, oh, that's cool, which made me feel better about telling people.
Yeah. I'm glad that everyone's reaction was a positive reaction versus a negative reaction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you first started or before you started, what did you think about guns?
My dad would always go to the range with me. It was normally an indoor range since we didn't have a membership at the time, but we'd go 1 or 2 times a month to an indoor range, and we'd shoot. And I didn't have a 22, so I'd just watch my dad shoot most of the time. But I thought they were okay. I didn't think they were like bad or horrible or anything.
So has anything changed from then to now how you think about guns?
No, I think guns are awesome and like they're fun. I've always kind of had that perspective.
So I think it was really important for me to bring you on because a lot of people don't see the competitive shooting aspect of guns. Some people think guns are just for hunting or personal protection, but there's sports that are out there and there's people who have tons of fun with competitive shooting, like yourself. And I don't think a lot of people see many kids that are in the competitive shooting arena though. So kudos to you. Do you have any advice that you would give to either kids or adults when it comes to competitive shooting?
Well, first, you would want to start with a small caliber because if you start with a big caliber, like if it's a kid like my age and you start with like a 9mm or like a 45, you won't like it. So always start out with like a small caliber, like a 22, or maybe for adults like a 380, or even a 22 also. And you also don't want to start on like pendulum. You want to probably start like maybe in an indoor range or hope and smoke, just easy targets so they can gradually lead up to that.
So what's hope and smoke?
It's 2 targets on the left side that are like or really big targets. They're 2 rectangular targets on the left side, 2 on the right side, and then there's a round stop plate in the middle.
Okay. So that's some really good advice. Start with a small caliber and work your way up. And adults should not be scared to start with 22 as well. I think 22s are really good for practice and to allow people to get comfortable, and then they can start to work their way up. And that's even with just shooting in general, not just competitive shooting. All right, so do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have one younger brother. He's 7, and he likes to shoot sometimes, but his sport that he actually does is wrestling.
Okay. So do you guys ever go to the range as like a family?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes he has practice, so he has to stay home with my mom and then wait until he has to go to practice while I'm gone.
Okay. So, man, I bet, so you're 11 years old, competitive shooter, so that's your sport, and does it ever seem like you don't have enough hours in the day?
No, not really, because sometimes school's slow, so I can get all my homework done there, and I can pretty much be worry-free after that and just go to practice, or even just clean my guns. They get really dirty.
Yes. So when it comes to school, do you like school?
Yeah, I really like my teachers. Actually today, my teacher threw on a pizza party and we had cake, chips, and like 3 slices of pizza.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a good teacher right there.
Yeah.
All right. So you like your teacher, you like school. What is your favorite subject?
Science, because the experiments are really fun.
Okay, so you guys get to do lots of nice experiments? Okay. When it comes to competitive shooting, do you think that you will still be doing this when you grow up?
Definitely. It's really fun. It's just, even if I don't do it competitively when I get older, I'm still going to go out to the range.
And then, do you think that, so what are your goals when it comes to competitive shooting? What are your goals for now, and then what are your goals for later?
For now is try to get at the top of my age division and try to learn as much as possible. And later try to be highest overall and learn as much as possible because knowledge is power.
Yes, it is. You heard her say it herself. Knowledge is power. All right, so when it comes to competitive shooting, what are some of the challenges that you may face?
It was really hard finding a coach was one of the challenges me and my dad faced because he contacted, I believe, 5 ranges and nobody responded besides my coach now, Sam Moore. So for my 9th birthday, he surprised me and I got a private lesson with him.
Oh. So when it comes to competitive shooting, what does your coach help you with?
Just everything about shooting. He helped me with my grip, my stance. Like, my stance was awful. Just like how to put the sight, like line it up correctly. He helped me adjust all of my guns when I got them ready.
So do you still have the coach?
Yeah, he's still,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like any sport. You start with the coach and you continue to have your coach so that they can continue to help you grow with your skill.
Yeah, just so I don't have any bad habits.
When it comes to competitive shooting, what do you think may be one of your biggest triumphs? One of the best things that's happened?
Probably just getting to shoot and maybe the award ceremony if I win. Meeting great people, that's probably one of the best parts, in traveling.
So you just mentioned an award ceremony. What are you going up for an award?
No, just for like shooting at matches, pretty much.
Okay. So every time you have a match, just experiencing your award ceremony.
Yeah, it's just fun to be in there with all the great shooters there.
When it comes to anything that you would have to tell the audience, what would it be?
About shooting or just
in general, anything you'd like to share with the audience?
Just learn the basics and safety before you start shooting, because you don't want to be an unsafe shooter. And always listen to the people around you that are trained, and always listen to people because they may have really good advice.
Do you talk to other kids about gun safety?
Not very many, but I've talked to a few kids.
Okay. I think it would be really important for kids to hear from another kid. I don't know about you, but my kids don't really listen to me a lot. So sometimes they may listen to another kid versus listening to their parent, and especially to see that you are a competitive shooter, you know how to handle guns safely, and you're just smart on the subject. All right, so what is your favorite gun?
Either my limited rifle or my open pistol. Those are both really fun. I like all of my guns, but those are probably my favorite.
Do you rather shoot pistol or rifle?
Just rifle, just because it's my strongest.
Okay. I used to prefer rifle over pistol as well. I think I kind of still do. Okay, so final question for you. If there's someone that you could tell that you appreciate, who would it be and why?
It would probably be my dad, just because he works like really weird hours just to get off to pick me up to go to practice. Like, he gets to work at 5 in the morning and then gets out at 1 o'clock just to go pick me up from school. And I think he works an hour away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for appreciating your dad for what he does, because a lot of people don't appreciate the people in their life. So I want you to know that that's awesome, and I'm very proud of you. You are doing some really good things, and you are sponsored by some companies, right? What are the companies that you're sponsored by?
I'm sponsored by Tandem Cross. They make awesome products. For my victory, the Halo ring was a game changer because I'd get pinched every time I slide the gun, and I would have like markings, so that was awesome. Notch Gear, it's a veteran-owned company. Obviously you have to wear glasses on the range, so it has a little notch, and it'll help your glasses sit there. so when you wear a hat, it doesn't like go down your face. And Stripling Custom Gunworks, he makes obviously custom stuff. It's really great. Steel Target paint. They make awesome paint. It doesn't drip off while it's raining, so that's good. And it's really high quality paint. It dries really quickly. And finally, my team, obviously, Tactical Solutions. They make awesome parts like barrels, receivers, more.
Man, I don't know about you, but that is a hefty list of sponsors, and you are very lucky, and they're also very lucky to have you. You are obviously putting in a lot of really good work, and keep up the good work because we are watching you and we're rooting for you as well.
Thank you.
And you have so much life ahead of you. You are doing really good things. Keep up the great work in school. Keep up the great work with competitive shooting. And where can the people that are watching and or listening find you at?
They can find me on Instagram at Nami Shoots _36 or Nami _Shoots 365.
Okay, you guys heard it from Nami. You can find her on Instagram. If you go check her out on Instagram, make sure that you let her know that you heard about her from Skip's Tactical Solutions. And we will probably do a follow-up episode with you and see how competitive shooting is going. And if you have any questions for her, feel free to shoot them to her or send them to me, and we can definitely talk about it. But I think it was very important for me to have her on so that you could see the Second Amendment and competitive shooting has a wide variety of people in it, including the youth. And keep up the great work, and thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.